Hello, welcome to a demonstration on how to use the concept of time value of money. In this particular video, we'll be talking a little bit about the concept of time value of money, which states that dollar amounts from different time periods should never be compared. Rather, amounts should be compared only when they are stated in dollars at the same point in time. Right, so here we are going to use two examples. One example is likely to be used by non-profit organizations that are likely to receive some donor funded funding from some donors somewhere. And in this particular case, we have a pledge from a donor. And then, of course, they provide an option that it's either you wait for a specific period of time before you get the money, or if you want the money, we are going to give you less. So in this particular example, the donor is pledging $1 million. That is to be given in 10 years, right? But however, the donor is also giving an option that if you don't want to wait for the 10 years, you can get the money right away, but it's only going to be $750,000. So it's actually $750,000 if you want the money right now. How do you make that decision? Now, this is where time value of money comes in handy because we have to find a way of quantitatively making some necessary calculations to figure out what the current value or the present value of $1 million would be today, right? So in other words, we'll reduce it to become a present value. And also using the same kind of concept, we can also figure out what the future value of 750,000 will be in 10 years time. So if we get the money today and we invest it, right? In this particular case, we're using a discounted rate of 4.75, right? That's what we're actually using as the basis for discounting this particular amount. So let's go ahead and calculate the present value of $1 million, right? So in 10 years time, right, we want to figure out whether the value of $1 million in 10 years time is at least higher than the early payment that we could actually get. So we can go ahead, we enter the equal sign, and we type in PV, which is present value, right? So we activate the function, and we know that the rate, the discount rate is 0.0475, right? That's 4.75%, comma, and the number of periods, we know we've been told that it's actually 10 years, comma, and then of course the future value. The future value in this case, we know that it's actually going to be $1 million. So it's not the payment that we want. We want the future value, the FV, which is going to be this amount. Close in parentheses, we press enter. And here it does tell us that the present value of the pledge of that $1 million in 10 years time is actually 628. So again, to make sure that this number is actually positive, we just put a negative next to the $1 million. Okay, so here we have the present value of $1 million will be 628,000. Okay, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because our initial reaction will be that this particular amount actually is less than 750,000, so we're better off getting 750,000 so that we can actually invest it. We'll be able to get more. But is that actually true? So we can actually go ahead and calculate the future value of 750,000, right? So we just want to do a contrast, compare and contrast here, and see if we're going to calculate the future value, right? And based on the same discounted rate 0.0475, comma, over 10 years, comma, and what else do we need here? We want the present value, right? So we'll put another comma to bypass the payment, And so the PV, the present value, is actually that 750,000. Remember to put it minus 750,000 so that Excel can return a positive value. Closing parenthesis, press enter. So here it's actually telling us that if we're going to get 750,000 right away, we would be able to invest it at 4.75% discount rate, and we should be able to actually exceed the money that's actually being pledged right now. So our amount, 750,000, will actually be more than $1 million. It is going to be $1.1 million. Right, so that's actually one quick way of actually proving that yes, it does make sense for this non-profit organization to receive the 750,000, right? Because otherwise, to wait, they will actually end up getting less based on today's discounted rate. Now we can move on and do another example, again pretty similar to the one before, but in this particular case, let's take it a little bit personal here. Right, so your grandma, you do have a rich grandma who says that, well, I can give you 850,000, but wait a minute, only in 8 years' time, right? But again, if you insist, I can give you 600,000 right away. I won't give you 850,000. 850,000 is for your troubles for waiting for 8 years. But if you are not patient, I can only give you 600,000. Right, so again, how do you make this decision? So once again, here we have actually been given a discounted rate at 4.75. So let's go ahead and figure out what is the present value of 850,000. So again, we enter the equal sign, PV, which is our present value, double click on it, and the interest rate is 0.0475, comma, and the period is actually 8, comma, and so the what is going to be that future value. So we'll put another comma here, and the future value is 850,000. And of course, we always must remember to put a minus because we want Excel to return a positive value. Press enter. So here it's telling us that the present value of 850,000 as of today is actually 586,390. All right, so obviously this number is slightly lower than the early payment. So, but however, we still want to see what is the real value of the early payment. So we also calculate the future value, V, double click on it. And of course, what is the rate? 0.0475, comma, and the number of periods is 8, comma, comma, another comma. What is the present value? What is the present value? It's actually 600,000. So it's minus 600,000. Close in parenthesis, we press enter. So it does show us that if we get the 600,000 today and we invest it at 4.75%, we should be able to get to 869,000. And if we compare this 869,000 is slightly more than the grandma's pledge. So yes, it's actually better off as long as we have got the necessary discipline. Otherwise, if we go shopping, then of course it won't be 600,000 anymore, right? So again, here's a question of discipline. But quantitatively, you can see the power of time value of money when we use the present value and the future value. It's very, very powerful. It enables you to make important decisions quantitatively, of course, that will at least guide your decision-making process. Otherwise, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you like the video, like it, share it, and be sure to register or subscribe to the channel so that you can continue to receive all this information that can really make a huge difference in your life. I hope you enjoyed the concept of time value for money. Bye for now.